Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are having a great day so far. So today on my desk, I have this box, and inside this box, I have all these parts. These are specifically parts for an LED heart-shaped flashing lamp DIY kit, which we are going to be building today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Here are the parts on my desk, and according to the component listing, we should have all of these parts in the kit, but I suppose we'll find out as we go. On the back of this page is the schematic, and this kit also has the option of adding a music chip. However, I'm not really sure if I'm going to do that yet. Ideally, we should be able to use the schematic. However, there also seems to be a QR code down here as well, if you would like step-by-step instructions on how to assemble this kit. However, I'm going to be using the schematic for this procedure. Starting from the schematic, if we take a closer look, we can see we have our ceramic capacitors here and here, represented on this board at the C1 and C2 location. Over here is our control chip. This is the brains of the operation. And if we move over to the left, we see another capacitor that should be at C4. And above that, a diode at location 4007 on the board. Location 4007 is in the bottom right corner, which is where the diode would need to be installed, along with the capacitor next to it. So at locations 4007 and C4, I will apply a little bit of flux to each of these vias. I will hopefully find the diode in this mess. All right, it took way too long, but I found the diode. For those who are unaware, diodes are polarized. The anode is at the bottom, cathode is at the top, marked with that gray ribbon. So it should be installed like this, along with ceramic capacitor C4 over here. Today, I'm using my Hotco 951 soldering station and then tacking them into place as seen here. Do not forget to cut the legs off underneath the board as you solder the components into place. Looking at the schematic and working from the outside in, we can see the resistor schematic here, and we can also see on the board there are several identifiers, 4.7 kilo ohm resistors, to be installed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the relevant location. So once again, we will add a flux to each of these vias. Dig through the rat's nest for our 4.7 kilo ohm resistors. If you are not familiar with how to read resistor colors, I would recommend looking up a guide on the internet. They're fairly plentiful and easy to find. You would once again bend them into shape and then tack them into place like so. On the schematic, starting from R32 and moving around the board, we will need to install 24 510 ohm resistors as indicated on the board. And once again, we will apply a flux to each of these vias along the sides of the resistors, which you can then tack onto the board like so. At this point, be sure to remove any residual flux from any of the vias with some 99% isopropyl alcohol. And after cleaning up a bit, taking a look at the schematic, it looks like we're supposed to have a music IC somewhere here. So with your soldering iron, you'll need to tack that in from the bottom. According to the schematic, you will need 3 jumpers soldered to these points as well. Here is a closer look at the work that was done so far. So let's keep going. On the schematic, we could see transistors located at Q1 through Q7, which is also represented on the board here. So we will go back in the rat's nest to fish out our transistors. So you will install in the correct orientation with the flat side facing forward, apply a flux, and tack them all into place, being sure to cut off the remaining legs and cleaning up the board with isopropyl alcohol as needed. So after those transistors are installed and aligned perfectly on the schematic, there is a speaker at LS1. We are going to install a terrible piezo speaker at LS1. Positive on the left, negative on the right. You'll then tack the speaker into place and cut off the legs as needed. On the schematic at J2, we have a programming interface, CON4, which seems to be already installed in this kit. However, depending on the kit that you purchase, you may need to install this as well if you want to program this interface. At this point, we are very close to installing the LEDs. However, we need to install a 10 nanofarad capacitor at C3. Oh, what a mess. Here's the capacitor. The capacitor should be installed positive to positive, negative to negative. In this case on the board, positive is on the top. And after this, we can go ahead and start installing the LEDs. This is going to be tedious. Alright, so it looks like we're getting close to completion. We went through the entire schematic. It looks like the last thing we need to do is add this DC plug here. According to the schematic, the plug should be installed at J1, and J1 is over here on the board in the bottom right. And you can install it from underneath like so. Connected to J1, we have a locking switch at S1. S1 is located here in the bottom right, and you will want to install the switch in this orientation here. As you can see, at the bottom is a very small opening on the switch, and at the top it's completely closed. And you can install the switch from the bottom, as shown here. Okay, now that the kit is fully assembled, we can go ahead and test it for functionality. I have this 5-volt plug right here connected through USB. I'm going to plug it in, and I really hope I do not get magic smoke right now. So, you're probably wondering how I got into this situation, and the answer might surprise you. Actually, no one. I'm just an idiot. So, as it turns out, this board arrives defective This switch is made of crap. And I also ended up ripping some pads, so that's always fun. However, despite all of that, let's go ahead and plug it in and see what we get. Safety first, switch on. Alright, seems to be working just fine. Let's go ahead and assemble the rest of the acrylic case and call it a day. I'm just going to remove this acrylic covering here. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I assembled the rest of the acrylic case off camera. Pretty self-explanatory. You just remove the tape and then match the pieces along the edge as if it were a puzzle. Once you do so, you should get something like this. So let's go ahead and clean up this mess. And now we can take a closer look at the finished product. So here it is in all its reflective glory. My apologies for the glare. Let's go ahead and finally plug this in and view a bit of the sequence. Yep, and there you have it. So the kit itself is not too expensive. The components, at least for the most part, seem alright. That switch is terrible, and it's pretty easy to rip pads on this if you're not careful, so keep that in mind. If you have an adjustable temperature soldering station, be sure to set it a little bit lower than 340 Celsius. Otherwise, those pads will just come up like confetti. However, in any case, that's it for today's video. So thank you all for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, you can give it a like, and please consider subscribing as it helps the channel a lot. But in any case, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.